Alright, so Compliance is directed... Hello?
Yes, is this Chris Stuckmann, the Chris Stuckmann of YouTube?
Yes.
Yes, I would love it if you would take your shirt off for me.
You want me to take off my shirt?
Yes, please. I really want to see your underbelly.
I'm not gonna take off my shirt for you.
Sir, I'm a police officer, and there are consequences for this type of insubordination.
Oh, okay. Compliance is based off of a true story that happened, and you know, whenever I see that in movies, it's based off a true story, inspired by true events, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because it's always like some crazy supernatural movie based off true events, and you're always like, okay, whatever. It takes place in a very busy fast food restaurant. It's right around lunchtime, it's the rush hour for all of these workers, and they get a call from a police officer. And this guy tells them, look, one of these people has stolen money from you, one of these workers. You have to put her in the back room. And as the movie progresses, his requests over the phone while claiming to be a police officer get increasingly more personal, and we squirm in our seats until we can't take it anymore.
He's saying he will have to take you to jail.
Or what we could do is have you strip search her right now.
I could strip search you here.
No. No.
I did a lot of research on this case after I saw the movie, and the details portrayed in this film are painstakingly and unfortunately very realistic. This is one of the best films I have seen all year. I'm telling you guys right now, this is one of the best movies to come out so far in 2012. It is incredibly disturbing to the point where you are actually ashamed to call yourself a human being living on this planet. Because as this man claiming to be a police officer is able to manipulate these various people into doing things that any human pretty much would know this is not right. They're so affected by this presence of supposed authority on the phone and the consequences that could come with them disobeying this authority, that they continue to go forth with these actions that we as the viewers are like screaming at the screen like, no, no, you know that's wrong, you're smarter than that. And that was a huge problem I had with this movie until I realized that it actually is true, that almost every detail in this film is how it happened, with minor dramatizations included. There were parts in this movie when I literally just wanted to scream at the screen, and I was like, what are you doing, man? You know, no, you shouldn't do that. You know you can't do that. Because this person on the phone was so convincing to be able to continuously request these things to do to this poor girl. And it's the idea of how humans cave in under the presence of authority. How far would you let yourself get into a situation that you know is wrong if you think there are some sort of legal consequences?
Is this okay to be doing?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You're making a really difficult situation run very smoothly.
I'm just trying to do my job.
I didn't do anything.
I'm gonna need you to address me as sir, understand?
Yeah.
And you know what, I gotta say, this is one of the best scripts of the entire year, because what this movie does is it has a brilliant way of portraying the way people actually talk. Not every single line people say is some movie dialogue that you're supposed to think like, wow, that's a really great line. A lot of times people just sit there and they talk about the weather, or they talk about what they had for breakfast, or they talk about, you know, their plan and scheduling for the day. Just random conversation, small talk that people do all the time, that's rarely ever in movies because people are always going to say, you know, that kind of dialogue isn't interesting, no one wants to hear that. This movie is unique in the way that it shows what people actually talk about when they're standing in front of the cash register and there's no customers right now and they're just sort of itching the counter and looking for something to clean. What do these people actually talk about in those situations? From a filmmaking standpoint, directorial standpoint, this movie is very well done. The film looks magnificent. There's long sequences of sustained slow motion that for some reason add to this strange, odd, dreamlike quality of this movie. That's really important because when you're in a situation that you never thought you'd be in, that's way over your head, and you think, wow, I could actually go to jail or have some kind of legal ramifications, it does kind of feel like a dream because you never think that's going to happen to you. You always think you're just going to kind of coast through life. And when you actually do encounter a situation like that, it's very disturbing and frightening, and you feel like you're kind of walking in slow motion. And this film portrays that very brilliantly.
What the hell is he doing back there?
I did a bad thing.
That man's asking me to do things that ain't right.
The performances are top-notch. Mainly Dowd as the manager of this place, who is primarily the one on the phone for most of the time. She was magnificent, so realistic. She looks like the kind of person that in real life you would just, yeah, okay, I totally buy her. I've seen her, I know this person, I've talked with her before. Also, Dreama Walker, she's the lead girl who is accused of the crime initially by this police officer on the phone, and she was terrific in the movie as well. All the performances in this movie, right down to the two young cashiers at this place, are great. None of them feel like, hey, I'm in a movie right now, I'm gonna wink at the camera because I know I'm being filmed and people are watching me. They all feel so realistic, like you're in this restaurant. These are all restaurant workers. Because when I was a teenager, I worked at fast food places too. I mean, I think almost every teenager has at one point in time worked at a restaurant. I understand how a lot of this works. So realistically portrayed. But really the scariest thing about this movie is the fact that it's true and this all happened. And if you do research on it from news stories from the past, you will learn that, and it's very terrifying. Compliance is a movie that is audience inclusive. It encourages an audience to get involved with it, and it actually makes you want to shout at the screen. And when a movie is able to do that, that's an impressive feat.
Help me, please.
Stop talking.
You're almost like a real cop.
There have been shouting matches at the Q&As for this movie at various festivals it premiered at. People have walked out of the film, and you wonder, why exactly did they walk out? Did they walk out because the movie sucked, or because they were so affected by how realistic and disturbing this movie is, and actually afraid that this happened in real life? Compliance is one of the best films I've seen all year. I'm going to give it an A. If it comes near you, it's in limited release right now. Definitely try to check it out, but be warned, this is not an entertaining movie in that normal aspect. It's a very disturbing film, and it will probably make you upset at humanity for a while.
I'll do everything, that you need.
Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, if you like this, then you can click right here and get Stuckmann eyes.